What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media. And once again, the Baltimore Ravens have finished the game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Ravens fans are baffled at decision making. They're baffled at execution. And they're baffled at things that don't happen outside of Steelers games that happen every time. They went into this game and the first possession, right? First possession, Derrick Henry fumble. That hasn't happened, but it's playing the Steelers. They're going to make horrible mistakes. Isaiah Likely fumbles at the end of the first half. You're like, what's going on? Justin Tucker misses 2 field goals. And Tucker is at a point, and I tweeted it out, and Hybrid has said it, and this is going to piss a lot of Ravens fans off, but there's no other way to say it. He's got to go. He, at this point, is not performing well enough to be on a team. And I think if he was any other kicker in the league, he would be gone. And one of the things that is very frustrating about it is that the NFL is not paying you for your past accomplishments. They pay you for what you will bring them in the future. And as it stands right now, Justin Tucker is not helping this football team. Like it's unfortunate, but like he's not. It's not just this game. He missed field goals in the Raiders game. He's missed field goals consistently. He's having by far the worst year of his career. He's not consistent, and the things that made him great are gone. He, not just this year, the last 2 years has been the worst kicker in the NFL from 50 plus yards. That was his calling card, right? That's what made him so special. He was like the first kicker. You know, you could say Matt Prater was the first kicker, but Justin Tucker was essentially the first kicker that was just automatic from 50 plus. And luckily he's been clutch, but like overall, I'm just, I don't know what to do with him because he's not playing necessarily the football that he needs to be playing for the Ravens. I mean, look, that's 6 points right there. And at least 3 of those points would have been beneficial, right? If say he misses the 50, I think he missed a 54 yarder or a 52 yard. Say he misses that one, but makes the 47 yarder. Like that's a huge swing. That's 3 points in the game. The Ravens lost by 2 because they had to go for a 2-point conversion. Brandon Stevens, I said in the pregame show, don't put him one-on-one ever against George Pickens. We put him one-on-one with no safety help. George Pickens, 35, 37-yard fade just immediately. Why? Because Brandon Stevens' worst skills, the things he's the worst at, is exactly what Pickens is the best at, maybe in the NFL. Contested catches, difficult catches, sideline passes. Trey White came in. After that catch, we were done. And it's like, Zachary Orr, why the hell did you wait for the first catch? You watch 1 minute of film on George Pickens and 1 minute of film on Brandon Stevens, and you would go, yeah, this is a horrible matchup. You should not put this matchup out on the field unless you have Kyle Hamilton as safety help. They didn't have safety help. He's one-on-one on the outside, and he just gets run by. He can't do it. And there were plays where he's one-on-one, and he tries to tackle, and he just completely whiffs. He can't do it. I don't know why they were doing that. They put in Trey White on him. He looked good. It was a good game from Trey White. I liked what I saw. Marlon Humphrey, he played well. Really, like, defensively, they were stout. Like, we missed Roquan at the end, but the defense looked good. Stevens couldn't even defend a 5'7" Calvin Austin. The issue in this game was certainly the offense and really just costly mistakes, missed field goals, the fumbles. The fumbles were just them being careless. And then the interception from Lamar Jackson, that might actually get overturned as just a catch and fumble. It was, that was Justice Hill's fault. Lamar put it in a good spot. Logan Wilson, or not Logan Wilson, Peyton Wilson made a great play, but that's a ball that should be caught. That's a ball that was caught, and he, again, lost concentration, let go of the ball, and like they lost. Like this Ravens team once again beat themselves against the Steelers. You look at the Baltimore Ravens drives in this game, and it's just like Lamar did all he could, right? First drive, fumble. Lamar did all he could. He didn't fumble. Second drive, this was on Lamar. That, or not on Lamar, but just saying like Lamar could have done more. Second drive, they punt, right? They didn't get to the to the next land. They punt, and they had a holding on that drive as well. Next drive, did his job, get a field goal to tie the game, missed field goal. Next drive, get a field goal to tie the game, missed the field goal. Next drive, they get 30 yards. They have a punt, so that you could say that wasn't good. And don't worry, yeah, right. I'll get to that. The next drive, they punt. They had an offensive holding on the first play. That's another thing that's just plagued the Ravens is the first play of the drive. They've gotten so many holdings, false starts, illegal formations. Like they're not ready on the first play of the drive. Then they get a touchdown. So definitely did all he could there. Then next drive, fumble, and then it's the end of the half. So like first half, like really there were like 2 drives where they got stopped. Second half, field goal. Then they have to punt, but the first play, or they had a false start on that play, and then Lamar got sacked. They blitzed 2 guys. 2 guys came in unblocked. Lamar gets sacked. They get the ball back. The interception based on Justice Hill kind of dropping the ball, getting ripped out, whatever you want to call it. And then they score a touchdown, and they have to go for 2. And it was one of the worst. I felt like I was watching Greg Roman. I used to hop in these exact post-game live streams with Greg Roman, and we did it against the Steelers too. I remember the Ravens lost a play where TJ Watt had a bat down on a 2-point conversion play because the Ravens went for the win, and they didn't get it. And I was like, what are we doing? What are these play calls on the 2-point conversion offense? How do you have Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry and have one of the worst 2-point conversions offense in the NFL? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because you don't play Derrick Henry on the 2-point conversion. You need 2 yards. There's a conversation that you could say of all the running backs in the history of the NFL, if you need a 2-yard touchdown run, Derrick Henry's in the conversation all time for that situation. All time great. Instead, they don't have Derrick Henry on the field, which is just fucking ridiculous. They try and get super fancy and get a guy motioning across and kind of fake like it's going to be a run to the right, but it's just kind of, I don't know, QB blast, QB power to the left side. But then like Lamar's trying to throw the ball, but there's no receiver there. There's no one blocking. What is the play? What is that play? This happened in the Chiefs game. This happened in the Raiders game where they stop using Derrick Henry in short yardage situations and they just start trying to get cute and they try to get fancy. You don't have to give the ball to Derrick Henry on your 2-point conversion, right? You don't have to give the ball to Derrick Henry. But having him on the field is what you need to do. It's the exact same thing as when they called Wildcat with Derrick Henry at the goal line. And you're like, really? You're going to take Lamar Jackson out of the backfield? One of the greatest weapons in NFL history? This time, instead of Lamar being out of the backfield, it was Derrick Henry out of the backfield. Because I guarantee you, if Derrick Henry's in the backfield, the line is pinching, they're not trying to play out, right? You don't have to run the ball. You could have passed the ball. The pass game was working just fine, but they just went out there and tried to do a cute ass play. And then to top it all off, shout out to brother of Jim, because this just furthers the stupidity that we saw. They didn't kick an onside kick. There's a minute left in the game. Yeah, you have 3 timeouts. Give yourself a chance to recover an onside kick. Jesus, you've let up 2 onside kicks this season. You should know the value of an onside kick. I get like it's unlikely, and if the Steelers get the ball, then they're they could pin the Ravens back. The Steelers needed one first down, and they would win the game. If you kick the onside kick and you get the ball kicked off to you, if you get the ball back, either way, you're getting the ball back with about a minute left, maybe 50 seconds left, and no timeouts. If the Steelers punch you the ball and they pin you back inside, the 10, it's unlikely. They hadn't done it, right? It's probably going to be the 20, or you get it back at like the 35 or 40-yard line. Like, I don't understand the lack of willingness to try the onside kick. Are you that confident Justin Tucker won't get it? It's just weird. They talk that shit all week. Yeah, no, they're all trying to be physical, and or like only a couple of players really played well. Reminds me of Marshawn, the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean it's a similar situation where you're like, dude, you have Marshawn Lynch at the goal line. Why are you throwing the ball? Like at least Marshawn Lynch was in the play. At least the Patriots were like, oh, Marshawn Lynch is in the field. Maybe we should watch for a run. We didn't even have Marshawn Lynch. Imagine if Pete Carroll had called, I know he wasn't calling the plays then, but whoever the OC was for the Seahawks that year, imagine if they put Marshawn Lynch on the sideline and then they called a Russell Wilson QB power to the left and did a fake handoff to, I don't know who was on that team at that point, to Ricardo Lockett or whatever, and then try to run power. Like, no, that makes no sense. You got one play with the game on the line, and your second best player you don't put on the field. Right? Like if they had gotten a false start and it's a 2-point conversion from the 7, sure, put Justice Hill in the back. But it's first or not first goal, it's a 2-point conversion from 2 yards out. Get the best short yardage running back in the NFL, maybe in the NFL's history, on the field. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, there were. I don't know if it was necessarily them calling out our plays. It just felt like the Steelers, when they play the Ravens, they know exactly what we're trying to do. We telegraph everything. And then we have plays where we don't block TJ Watt on an obvious run situation. And you just have critical errors like that. I put out a tweet. It didn't even include the Brandon Stevens thing. It didn't include the missed block. But I put out a tweet that said 2 missed field goals, 2 fumbles, 1 sort of fumble into an interception, horrific 2-point conversion, more penalties than ever thought possible, and the story stays the same. John Harbaugh cannot beat Mike Tomlin. And I mean, I stand by that. It's just nothing is happening on this offensive side of the ball where it never works when they try and get cute. Every time it's a short yardage situations and the Ravens try and do something cute, it feels like they just completely fail. Like, I don't know what that plan is. Oh, shout out to John Harbaugh. You guys know I hate John Harbaugh. It says Jeff Schrebeck tweeted out saying, as for Henry not being on the field for 2, he said that was play that was called, or that, I don't know, that's a mistake in the tweet, but it says that play was called and they'll review everything. Is that what the play was supposed to be? Was it supposed to be Lamar tries to run? I don't. Oh, and shocker, he went out and said today that was a big problem talking about penalties. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, it's been a problem every week of the NFL season this year. John Harbaugh is saying the exact same thing he always does. I bet I could, if I find the press conference after the last loss to the Steelers, I bet he says the same thing, right? Oh, we had too many critical errors. We had too many drops, right? Lamar Jackson had a play where in the fourth quarter, he scrambles around forever, finds Zay Flowers wide open, hits him in the chest and drops it. Looked exactly like last year um, when Zay had a drop in like a very similar situation, and I tweeted out right when that happened. And I tweeted out saying, and just like every Steelers game, the Ravens will lose because of awful turnovers and poor execution on all fronts. And yeah, right. You're exactly right. Every week we got to review something. Who is he supposed to throw to? I don't even know. Like I understand why he tried to throw. Like he was getting tackled, he was just throwing it up, but it seemed like I don't know what the you know what? I'm gonna find this play on Twitter. I need to watch this play again because I I don't know what happened. And also the last time that the Ravens went for two was against the Bengals last week. What was the play call? Lamar Jackson scrambles left for a 2-point conversion. Okay, so I'm watching right now. So Tylan Wallace goes in motion, and there's no fake, it's just blast or power. Nelson Aguilar gets bodied by someone. Who is this? Who bodies Nelly? Oh, he just kind of whiffs on the block, misses him. Makari can't get outside, and Lamar throws the ball up in the air. I don't. What was? What? I don't. What is the plan? Right. This is the play. Shout out to whoever tweeted this. Right. Like you can see. Oops. Nelly is already getting beat here, but there's no one to throw to. Like there, it's just you can't do that. The Ravens having Derrick Henry on the sideline is just one of those things that we have seen consistently throughout the last 5 years under John Harbaugh, where you just go, man, game on the line, and what the hell was that decision? He played a play. He missed a sideline pass from Lamar Jackson. It hit his hand. It wasn't like an easy catch, but like it wasn't great. Nelly had a great play. Got called back because Patrick Makari is every time we run an RPO or any sort of screen, that guy immediately just sprints downfield. Like Lamar throws it up. Like, you know, that's not necessarily on Makari. It took forever. But I mean, Nelly made a good play. I'm not gonna get upset about Nelly. He looked fine because he had, you know, that big play. The other thing is like thinking about it, that 2-point conversion play. What the hell are Nelly and Tylan Wallace are two receivers on the field? Like, like, oh, at least if Derrick Henry's in the field, you're having to figure out, oh, is it going to Derrick Henry? Is it going to Lamar? It was like obviously going to Lamar because there's no receivers. The Ravens aren't using their top 3 receivers. Oh, doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Like, if you want to call a Lamar power, put Derrick Henry on the field. Like, why is that packet like? It doesn't make any sense. And they asked Justin Tucker about like, oh, like how's your confidence? Obviously, he's going to say his confidence is high, but it's clearly not. Right? How do I know it's clearly not? Because he's still missing kicks. Yeah, and Lamar said that the 2-point conversion attempt was a quarterback run. It's just a horrible play call. But that's the difference, right? That's the difference between the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers whenever they play. The Ravens look like they've never played football before. Every time. They are not ready. Every time. Like guys aren't ready to catch passes, guys aren't ready to make kicks, guys aren't ready on the offensive line, and they will just get consistent penalties. The protection was good. I think there were a couple of sacks, but the protection was good. But the downfield blocking, the false starts, the illegal shifts, these are things that have killed the Ravens, not just this week, because Harbaugh's saying like, "Oh, like yeah, we got to take a look at that. It's been a big thing today." No, it's been a big thing all year. Your offensive line has been getting penalized every game. And I don't know exactly the number, but I guarantee it's the most in the league. There's no way a team has more offensive line penalties than the Ravens. And White should get more snaps than Stevens. Yeah, Trey White looked good. He's definitely getting used to the defense. I will say, Kyle Hamilton playing over top. Stevens looked way better today. They did not give up the big play. They looked more controlled. Adolfo Way played great. Yep. Yeah, right. You're right. But overall, this game came down to the Steelers are a more controlled football team. This team is undisciplined. And I tweeted out something that might make a couple of people mad. But I tweeted out saying, these are the games that give me pause to call us contenders. It happens far too often. Trying to win 4 straight weeks against 4 straight elite teams with good or great coaches doesn't seem possible for this team. You look at the Chiefs, very well coached, and they capitalize on teams that make these types of mistakes. They did it week 1. They did it last week. They just blocked a field goal for the win. Like they make those types of plays. The Ravens don't make the plays, the disciplined plays, the smart plays that these other elite teams seem to make. Instead, they're the ones that are consistently messing up and making it more difficult for themselves to win the game. And sometimes they outlast teams. Sometimes they're able to make it work. But when they're playing the good teams, the Steelers, the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Bills, when they lose. And sometimes they do it against the bad teams and they still lose, like the Raiders, like the Browns. %. And from what it looks like, the Ravens are going to have to go out and win on the road in the playoffs. And I don't know how confident I am that they're going to be able to be disciplined in a, Buffalo environment, in a Kansas City environment, because they're just unable to. We see it every week. If it was one thing where it's like, oh yeah, like, a couple of times a year it happens. No, it happens every time they play the Chiefs. It happens every time they play the Steelers. And I wonder if it's something where Patrick McCarry gets benched. We've got a guard. Voorhees, I believe, is healthy to play. Maybe we give him a crack next week. The Ravens do not have a necessarily easy game. I think they play the Chargers in prime time. I'm going to double check that. Yeah, next Monday, Chargers in prime time. It's a huge game. But we're going to see if and how they perform. I don't know. I just wanted to go live and give my thoughts on the game. And you guys ranted with me. So thank you guys so much. I'm probably going to head out. I'm probably going to watch this Chiefs Bills game. And then OKC plays the McCarry's a Harbaugh guy. Yeah, that's exactly right. Eagles is going to be a great test. Any team. The problem is every Ravens fan and every team in the NFL, I think, knows if the Ravens are playing at their best, they are the best team in the NFL. The Ravens at their best is better than the Chiefs at their best. They're better than the Niners at their best. They're better than the Bills at their best. But the Ravens also, right, say their best is here, right? Their average is here, but they swing, right? You look at the Chiefs, right? Let's see here. I got to find something. Okay. Here's the Ravens' best, right? And here's where the Ravens' average is, right? The Ravens go like this, right? They play great sometimes. They play okay, and then they play really, really bad, right? The Chiefs, their average might be like right here, just under the Ravens, right? But they play like this. Really good. Oh, this is a bad week, right? So they're consistently very good. So like a Chiefs bad week is about even with the Baltimore Ravens good week or an average week, right? And then their really good week is almost as good as the Ravens' really good week. The problem is the Ravens have these weeks where they just look awful and they don't know what they're doing and they lose these games. That's the issue. The Ravens pendulum is swinging way more than everybody else. And part of that I think has to do with coaching. And I've been on this train. I will not get off of this train. I don't care if he wins a Super Bowl. I don't care if he wins 5 straight Super Bowls. I don't think Harbaugh is the right coach for this team. I don't think he should be the coach. I said it for 2 years. I said they need to promote Mike McDonald, but they didn't. And now we have Zachary Orr and we have Todd Monken and Harbaugh is still making these excuses after the game where he goes, "Oh yeah, that was the play." I didn't really like. A lot of times it's, "Oh, I didn't really think about how we weren't giving Derrick Henry the ball," or, "Oh, I didn't really realize we threw the ball so often." This time it's, "Oh, we'll have to look back and see about that play." It's like, dude, that play call just sucked. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe they could do that play call on 2nd and 1. Like, that play call would be fine. But also, like, there's way better 2nd and 1 plays. I don't know what the goal was in that. That looked like an Ask Madden play where they just kind of said, like, "Oh, here's a random play no one ever uses." It's really bad. Yeah, we looked a lot better without him. We also looked a lot better with Kyle Hamilton over top. It hurts us in the run game, certainly, but I think it's so much better for our pass defense. So that is a good sign. The defense looked much better, playing too high. It was just a very Dean Pease like defense, but I would take that over the Ravens just struggling every week to, stop a post. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for more. I'll put out some more videos throughout the week. I just wanted to go live and talk to you guys. Thanks so much for coming through. I'll see you again next time, and hopefully, I don't even know. We can't make trades anymore, so hopefully Harbaugh has come to his senses. I guess I'll go with that. See you again next time.